And now, what goes up? Jay assembles a group of, let's be nice and call them unique, warriors to help him save the world from Nadakhan, the evil wish-granting djinn. There is Dareth, who calls himself the Brown Ninja. Skylar, the reformed daughter of evil Master Chen, one of the ninja's greatest enemies. Captain Soto, a pirate who fought Nadakhan in the distant past. Ronin, a professional thief. Echo Zane, a copy of one of Master Wu's ninja. And Misako, the mother of Leloid, another of Wu's ninja. Will this diverse group of would-be heroes be enough to save the day? Let's find out. Master Wu looked up at the sky. The evil Jin Nadakhan had used his magic to lift huge chunks of earth and stone over the city. Even if the ninja won their fight against the enemy, the city was in danger of being crushed. Wu turned to the small group of warriors clustered around him. He sighed and shook his head. I have to remember to talk to Jay about team building one day, Wu said to himself. He hoped this motley crew of would-be heroes would be enough to save the day. If their hearts were in the right place and their courage held, anything was possible. While the ninja were fighting to stop Nadakhan up in the sky on his flying pirate ship, Wu led this team to help the people on the ground. We all know what we have to do, Wu said to the group. Let us be swift as a sparrow and mighty as a dragon. Well, I guess that's better than flat as a pancake, said Ronin. Everyone knew it was a race against time. If Nadakhan won, the world was doomed. If the ninja won, the city would be destroyed. So if nothing else, they had to try to save the people in the city. Dareth came upon a crowd of people on a street corner, frantically debating whether the world was coming to an end. He jumped on top of a car and said with a smile, Cheer up, folks! The Brown Ninja is here to tell you everything is going to be okay. The crowd quieted down, and someone said, What's a Brown Ninja? This, said Dareth, going into a series of complicated martial arts moves. In minutes, the people who had been panicking before were smiling and applauding. In another part of the city, Ronan and Echo Zane were keeping an eye out for anyone in need when they heard screams. Racing around the corner, they saw a building start to topple over. The ground beneath it must have been weakened after Nadakhan broke up the land and took it, Zane the Nindroid. Action first, explain later, Ronan said, already on the run. He caught a flagpole and went into a rapid spin. When he had built up enough centrifugal force, he let go and rocketed towards the building. Timing it perfectly, he caught two people who were falling out of the building. Meanwhile, Zane rushed over and used his amazing strength to slow the building's collapse long enough for rescue workers to evacuate the structure. Even Ronan was impressed. And so it went, all over the city. Misako spoke with the commissioner, who dispersed police and firefighters to vulnerable points in the city. Captain Soto used a fisherman's net to haul in looters. Skylar helped save the city's power plant from an overload when half the facility got dragged into the sky by the djinn's magic. Finally, when most of the people in the city were safe from immediate danger, the team reunited with Master Wu to check in and figure out what they needed to do next. No one could forget they were standing in the shadow of rock and earth, hovering in the sky above them. But we're doing all right so far, said Misako, but it's all for nothing if they don't win the battle up there. A sudden tremor shook the ground beneath the heroes' feet. Cracks began appearing in the street around where they were standing, spreading rapidly in every direction. I hate to tell you this, said Ronan, but it may all be for nothing anyway. Watch out! Yelled Dareth. It was already too late. The slab of land they were standing on broke free and soared into the air to join all the others Nadakhan had stolen. Captain Soto peered over the edge and saw more chunks of land tearing themselves loose and rising towards the sky. Long way down, said Skylar, and getting longer every second. Are we going to do something about this? The top floor is full of nasty pirates and an evil djinn. Master Wu frowned. We are rising quickly, and it is already too far for most of us to jump. Echo Zane cut in. Yes, a jump could result in multiple injuries and... We get the picture, interjected Ronan. Maybe you could spinjitzu us down, Wu. Master Wu shook his head. I can't carry all of you to safety quickly enough. Dareth looked down at the landmass that had formed in the sky from the stolen pieces of Ninjago terrain. Then he looked down and saw more hunks of earth and rock rising from the surface like a swarm of giant insects. Or did they actually look more like stepping stones? The brown ninja smiled. That's our way out, he said, pointing downward. We jump from one piece of land to the next until we reach the street. But we have to be fast and accurate, or else squish! Squish? Repeated Echo Zane. Never mind, said Ronan. It's a technical term. I don't have a better idea, said Skylar, so I guess I'll go first. With that, Skylar leapt off the edge. She dropped about 2 yards to the next floating hunk of rock. Nothing to it, Skylar yelled up to the others. See you at the bottom. Ronan waited for her to make another jump before following. Dareth gave Captain Soto a little nudge toward the edge. Don't worry, it's no harder than jumping from one ship to another in a storm. Aye, replied the old pirate. And what a crazy fools would ever do that? Us, said Dareth as he pushed the surprised captain in the direction of the next rock. Soto fell, flailing and yelling. Echo Zane held out his hand to Misako. Shall we? Skylar was finding it tough going. The pieces of land accelerated as they rose higher, making it hard to judge speed and distance. One time, she almost tumbled off. And another time, she skidded upon landing and barely held on. She was about to make the next jump when Ronan unexpectedly landed behind her. Problem? He asked. I don't have problems, she replied, jumping off. I usually cause problems. Knowing the thief was watching, Skylar flipped in midair, landing on her hands on the next rock, then pushed off and flipped again, effortlessly, to the ground. She looked up and smiled. Your turn. But the smile didn't last long. High above, Skylar could see Dareth and Captain Soto making their third jump. They landed all wrong, and Captain Soto went over the side, dangling from Dareth's outstretched arm. Let me go, lad, and save yourself, cried the pirate. Don't be silly, said Dareth. Just hang on, and I'll pull you up. Good, said Soto, because I don't really mean that. Above, Misako had found it surprising that she had made it a third of the way to the ground without injury. Shaking off Echo Zane, she said, I've got this, and jumped, but the rock was rising faster than she expected, and she missed it completely. Plummeting toward the ground, Misako bounced off one rock, then another, but it didn't slow her down much. She closed her eyes and prepared herself for impact. She was halfway through the list of all the things she still wanted to do with her life when she felt a hand close around her wrist. Misako opened her eyes to see Master Wu smiling down at her. Spinjitzu, said Wu, a most useful skill to learn. Wu and Misako landed beside the others. All around them were huge craters, which were all that remained after Nadakhan had torn land free from the planet's surface. They had survived, but they had not stopped the evil djinn. You have done well, Master Wu said to the team. You have helped the people of the city, and you've lived to fight another day. Ronan looked up at the sea of rock floating to the sky. So what do we do if the ninja beat Nadakhan and it suddenly starts raining rocks? Master Wu followed his gaze. We honor the courage of my ninja by matching it with our own. In life, Ronin, whatever goes up must come down, and the job of a hero is to catch it when it falls. The end.